What's good to everybody? So, Saquon Barkley. It's been a long time since I did a video. Saquon Barkley um, will return to MetLife Stadium tomorrow. This would be his first game against the Giants since his departure from the team. Um, Now, I could look at this two ways. I know Giants fans are going to have their mixed emotions. Uh, for me, I really don't have no emotions, no ties, no nothing. It's business at the end of the day, and I think that's what a lot of people fail to understand. You know, um, it's kind of like you going out and buying a new car, but you see your friend buys the same car, but you know that car is even better. You know, it has a tune up. It has accessories. It has everything that you don't have, but you get mad because you bought the same car, but it's just better looking in a different color. It could be the same thing as a girlfriend. You have a girlfriend, your friend has a girlfriend, but his girlfriend can do better things that your girlfriend can't. His girlfriend can cook, clean. She's very active outdoors. You know, she's very good in sports. She played like three different sports, but the only thing your girlfriend can do is just cook, clean, and that's about it. And shop. You know, like, do you want to go out with, or do you want to have a girlfriend that is do it all, or do you want to have a girlfriend that's just limited to what she can do? You know, Giants fans need to get out their ass. Head out their ass, I should say. Um, Saquon Barkley don't owe y'all nothing. He really don't. You know, um, you could say that was gave Dave Gettleman's safest pick. You know, I mean, he could have chose any other player, but he chose Saquon Barkley. He was touched by the hands of God, right? And he was touched by the hands of God, and he obviously delivered. Had a very good rookie year, one rookie of the year, and then after that, he kind of fell off. Bounced back a little bit, and then he fell off again. And the Giants wasn't willing to pay him all that money um, because we all know that the NFL, the the way the NFL is going is not running back committee. If this was like 20 years ago, then fine. If this was like 20 years ago, perfect. You know, but it's not. Times have changed. Now we're looking for the best quarterback and wide receiver duo. If you look across the league, you know, um, but what type of game will Saquon Barkley have against us? Will he hold back? Now, obviously, he didn't have a good game against. I believe they played the Browns. They did not have a good game. He did not have a good game against the Browns. So I'm looking for him to take a huge leap in this game. Like, put your emotions, put your ego aside. You on a new team, better O line. A little bit too late on the O line, I should say. I think we should have addressed the O line for years. Still would have had a decent O line, but he couldn't. He couldn't just. Saquon Barkley just couldn't run through that O line. He just couldn't. You know. Um, but he will have that he will have that revenge game on his mind. Oh, y'all didn't want to pay me? Okay, watch what I'll do. Well, watch, you'll see what I do tomorrow. You know, or he might hold back. He might hold back and say, you know what, I'm not that type of guy to, such and such. It's kind of like how Steve Smith was when the Carolina Panthers let him go, or they traded him to the Ravens. There's gonna be bloodbath. It's gonna be bloodbath everywhere. Put your goggles on. He didn't mean it in that type of way, but just you traded me. Now watch me. Destroy you. And behold, he destroyed his former team. You know. So there's a lot of revenge games. I remember Peyton Manning coming back to Indianapolis. Even though some of them cheered, some of them also booed. But again, they didn't know, the ramifications or what led to him being, cut or released or traded. And plus, they had the number one pick. Obviously, they chose Andrew Luck over RG3, which obviously both of them flopped. Obviously, let's just call it what it is. Both of them didn't succeed high expectations. But RG3 did stick around for a couple of more years than Andrew Luck. But there's a lot of revenge games. There was Steve Jackson versus his former team LA Rams. So revenge games are always bitter but sweet. You know, you just have to take the good with the bad. You know, you know. I remember Tiki Barber's last game. He tore up the Redskins. I think he rushed for like 206, 207 for like three or two touchdowns. Because obviously that's the game that was his last game before he retired. I just watched it. That man, well, I don't know what got over him that game, but he destroyed the Redskins defense. I mean, they ran the ball at least 70% of the time. They didn't even pass it throughout the whole entire game. They ran it from start to finish. Hopefully, Saquon Barkley don't have that type of game against us, because some players still have, a soft spot for the team that drafted them. So maybe, he'll probably finish with like 105 yards, two touchdowns, simple as that. Probably get the game ball. But the Eagles are going to win. There's no doubt about it. The Eagles are going to win. Now, we won't face them until week 17 again, or week 18. So, no, week 17. So, they'll probably have everything wrapped up, rest their starters, So, we, we might probably win that game, seeing how we won that game last year, Same scenario, Eagles had everything wrapped up. They rested their starters, and we obviously beat them. Now, obviously, I think Jalen Hurts didn't want to rest. He just wanted to go out there, you know, and he wasn't really playing for much, anyways. So like I said, they had everything wrapped up. So if Giants fans want to make a whole deal out of, oh, we beat y'all, like there was really nothing for us to really play for, you know. Um, but yeah, I mean, I see a lot of Giants fans. Like I'm on my YouTube, on my tablet, you know, just scrolling, watching a whole bunch of Giants fans rant, you know. So we're gonna be looking at Malik Neighbors, see what he says. Um, so yeah,
Ready to go.
and as you can see, I'm watching him right now.
Is the groin any of an issue that you're worried about at all? Nah, I've been dealing with it for so long, so it's coming a normal thing now. You remember how to play? Yeah, can never lose that.
what are your expectations for yourself coming back and hitting the ground running here?
Not get as tired fast. Try to get my win back. Try to go out there and execute.
And this will be his first game against the Eagles. Now, mind you, he has yet faced the Cowboys. I believe. I don't believe he was in that game. He has yet to. Yeah. I think he was in that Washington game. So the only team he hasn't really faced yet is the Eagles. And I remember Plaxico used to abuse the Eagles. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what it was, but every time Plaxico and Eli faced the Eagles, it was like a pitch and catch type of game. You know, like like it was very fun to watch. You know, Plaxico would have a field day against the Eagles defense. You know, but again, we don't have the right quarterback, so it it's not going to work. You know, we don't have the right quarterback. And the Giants are far from tanking. You know, just go out there and win your games. Because at this point, the Giants are going to win most of these games. You know, I already did I already did my schedule prediction. I did have them. I did have them winning against the Browns the and the Bengals, and I also had them losing against Philly and Steelers. Because right after this, we have another primetime game against the Eagles, another Philadelphia team. You know what I'm saying? So we're facing two back-to-back Philadelphia teams. You know, so we have a short week again. After this, another turnaround Monday or next week. We face the Steelers Monday night, which I think I said that we would probably lose that game as well because we all know Daniel Jones don't show up in primetime games at all. I think that only one prime. I think that one primetime win was against the Bears, but he just doesn't show up. I don't know what it is. You know, but Giants fans need to be very pessimistic about this season. Stop being optimistic. There's really nothing that you can say that's going to turn this around. You know, like the proof is already in the pudding. We need a new quarterback. We need a new quarterback. Unless a quarterback falls to us at number 12, which I was doing like a lot of mock drafts, previews, and stuff, and I see where we are right now, we're sitting at 2-4, right? We're sitting at 2-4, and let's say the other teams mess around and win their games, right? Let's say 3 1-5 teams win their games. Does that catapult us further, or will that bring us down, depending on what the teams behind us and in front of us do? Like right now, let's say Beck drops to us. Let's say Beck doesn't get picked until like pick 11, and then we're sitting at pick 12. Do we pick Josh Beck? Because we all know Sanders is probably going to go to the Browns. The Panthers, they're probably looking for another quarterback as well. The Browns looking for another quarterback. The Patriots, not so much. They just need to build around Drake May. That's all they need to do. If they can build around Drake May, pick after pick, year after year, I think the Patriots might probably make some noise again. But yeah, it's just one of those incidents, man. It's just one of those incidents.
We got to get it done with the brothers.
Was it longer than you initially thought it would? Was it kind of a frustrating to wait?
I mean, my health is really the most important thing, so I really wasn't frustrated. It was just getting back out there when I feel right. Trainers did a well job of, having me answer a lot of questions to see if I was back to normal. So
Now, I will say, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but just little clips in there. But I will say this. Malik Neighbors coming back, his rhythm and his timing is going to be off. Because you need day after day Daniel Jones constantly, throwing to the same people that he threw to. His rhythm and his concentration is going to be off. It might probably take a few drives to get him going, so they're going to force feed him the ball early if he does decide to play, or if he does play tomorrow. If he does play tomorrow, that they're going to force feed him the ball early. And I said keyword force feed because obviously, that's why the Giants was in a lot of these primetime games. It's not because of Daniel Jones. They didn't put the Giants on primetime games to see Daniel Jones. They put them, or maybe they did do that for Daniel Jones, just to see how good he is in pressure situations, which he's not. But I think they did it because of Malik Neighbors, his aura, his presence. He has that, Deion Sanders type of aura about him, you know. But yeah, I just, you know, think that his return, or I might be wrong, he might go out there and continue to ball, you know. I don't think he is gonna have any rust or anything. He might probably have a big game, 11 targets, 109 yards, one touchdown. And then after that, it won't matter at the end because, you know, like I said, game after game is either the defense shows up and the offense don't, or the offense shows up and the defense doesn't. It's always like this. It's always like that tit for tat. Like the Giants, like why can't the offense and the Giant? I mean, why can't the offense and the defense just click together? Why can't the offense play off? Why can't the offense feed off of the defense and the defense feeds off the offense? Why does it has to be where the Giants play good one quarter, or the Giants play good defense one quarter, and the offense just goes on as the offense goes in sync, you know, like they forgot how to catch and run and whatever, committing penalties, you know. But let's just hope that in this year's draft, a quarterback might fall to us. Hopefully, I don't know if we had to trade up because we did have to trade up for Jalen Hyatt, which he's been a non-factor. And if the Giants are not going to utilize him, trade him. Trade him. Like every single time I see this guy on the field, he has the talent. His route running can use some work, but the talent is there. You know, like and then he comes out and says, "Oh, the rumors are not true. I didn't really demand or ask for a trade." Hyatt, if I were you, I would get up out of there. If they're not going to utilize you, because now they're all focused on two things, actually one thing, and that's Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors is going to get 90% of the reps. Second is Hyatt. No, second is Slayton. Third is obviously Wandell. So you're going to be an afterthought in their rotation. Now, if you go to a team like KC, for example, like take a route from Kadarius Toney, will that elevate Patrick Mahomes now that he has a number one target? Probably. And I think that's what the Giants are afraid of. I think the Giants are afraid of trading trading a guy like him to the Chiefs, knowing that the Chiefs need wide receiver help because the receiver that they had, I think he's on injured reserve. I think they put him on IR. So they're still looking for their number one receiver. So if like they'll probably give you like 2 second round picks for him. Like let's say, the KC calls up the Giants, you know, midway, towards the trade deadline. Yo, we want we hear that you got a wide receiver you're not using or you're not utilizing. What will it take for us to get him off your hands? Probably a fourth round, two fourths, 2 seconds. Okay, we could get it done. And then boom, click. So the Chiefs will give the Giants 2 second round picks, a fourth round pick, no, 2 second round picks, two fourths, or 2 seconds, 2 thirds, no, 2 seconds, 1 third for Jalen Hyatt in exchange for Jalen Hyatt. No players involved. Okay, seems fair. Seems fair. They done the trade, boom. Now Hyatt is a Casey. If I'm the Giants, I'll pull the trigger. Because obviously, game after game, I'm tired of seeing him out there. He only gets like one target probably every other snap. And if he does get targeted, he'll probably drop it or don't get any yards at all. So if you're not gonna utilize him, why is he on the field? Like it doesn't make no sense. If you're not gonna utilize him to the best of his ability, why he's on the field? Why not just trade him and get assets for him? And who knows? He may not even start. Well, actually, he has to start. The Chiefs gave up all those draft picks for him. He better start. You know, so they'll probably ease him into the rotation. Probably he's gonna have to learn a new playbook. The coaches will the coaches will get him up to speed. That's what I think. That's the deadline. Because like I said, the Giants are more focused on getting, you know, uh, Malik Neighbors the ball a lot. They're going to force feed him the ball a lot. So Jalen Hyatt is lost in that rotation. Unless, unless he shows the coaches, like, okay, I could be that number four receiver. Kind of like how we had with Hakeem Nicks, Mario Manningham, and Steve Smith, or Victor Cruz, Mario Manningham, and Hakeem Nicks. That type of trio, or two more, Plaxico or Steve Smith. We can have that type of duo, trio, but he barely gets any snaps. And, like I said, when he does get snaps, it's either he gains a little or he drops the ball. So if I'm the Giants, I'll trade him, you know, because your main piece right now is Malik Neighbors. So let me know what y'all think. How will Saquon Barkley do tomorrow? Will he go off on his former team or will he hold back? In cases of revenge games, it doesn't really favor the opposing team. Players who get traded from their former teams to other teams that they're facing, they're I think their record is 87 and 11. Because I was just looking up the stat yesterday. Like, what is the record for former teams, former players facing their former teams? They're 87 and 11 all time. So yeah, not good at all. And despite Saquon Barkley having a subpar game, 47 yards, like he is not gonna duplicate that again. Well, not again, but he's not gonna duplicate that tomorrow. I think the Eagles are gonna run the ball heavy. So if Saquon is on your fantasy team, or if you're betting parlays, pick Saquon Barkley. Go the over on everything, touchdowns, yards. Like, trust me, you'll get a lot of money. Because that's what I did, and he didn't even really show up. So, I mean, not Saquon Barkley, but I did. I think I did it on Ford, the running back for the Browns, Ford, because he had such a good campaign. You know, he had like 2 games where he rushed for like 100 yards. I picked him. He didn't even show up. So, but it is what it is. But let me know in the comment section down below. This is probably my first video in a long time. So yeah,